hello to the future. Gabriel Saint here, writer, artist, director, working out of Los Angeles, California. And today we're going to be doing automatic drawings. We'll be using three tools when doing our automatic drawings today: a soft charcoal pencil, an eraser, and a paper towel. So normally I would set a 60-second timer, but this season I think I'm just going to draw until I see fit. Maybe we'll do a little less about the technique specifically and a little bit more about the thought process, a little bit more about the philosophy. Feel free to go back to the rest of the channel, check out some of the other videos that have more step-by-step tutorials of the technique, and also like, subscribe, and comment, please. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is lay out an outline in a general area of where a face might be. I'm going to hold the pencil in kind of an awkward angle. Allows me to draw lines that kind of surprise me. And then also I'll kind of twist the pencil as I'm doing it. And if you see like the distance between my lines, when I'm moving the pencil around, I'm doing it in a way that kind of is smooth and soft and comfortable for me. The distances of the lines is kind of in an equal distance. So for example, I'm not doing any lines like this. I'm not doing anything like this. I'm not even doing a whole lot like this. What I'm doing is I'm trying to draw lines that kind of move smooth and flowing, that kind of are fun to draw, kind of in a way relaxing to draw, that they're not taking a lot of focus or a lot of attention or a lot of pressure. It's really kind of just methodical and almost therapeutic. Sometimes grabbing the pencil, holding the pencil, and drawing these small, important, detailed lines can be a little bit stressful. In the current process, what we're doing here is all about kind of de-stressing. So once I've got some of these kind of flowy lines here on my page, I'm going to try to see a face here. And then once I see a face, I'm going to try to reiterate it. Do you see a face? So I kind of see a face here, and I see an eye could be somewhere like here. So I'm maybe going to reiterate that eye. You know, there's not a lot here to grab onto as far as an eye, but we'll go ahead and do one here. And I'm not judging the drawing or whether I'm drawing an eye correctly. I mean, I'm actively like holding the pencil in a way that kind of lets go of control a bit, and I think that's kind of important to kind of not kind of control this process and just let go and relax and enjoy drawing, enjoy going through the rhythm, enjoy putting the lines down, and not stress about what the end product is or how perfect it needs to be. And again, I'm just randomly reiterating areas. So there should be a nose here, and under your nose will be a shadow generally, and also, you know, a couple nostrils. So I'm just going to do like a shadow there and maybe a couple darker areas that could signify maybe some nostrils and, you know, some shadow behind a nostril. There'll be a Cupid's bow here maybe, which is the arc above your lip right here. Might kind of just reiterate what might be there. And I will do some lines here that aren't necessarily the most relaxing lines. Just trying to charge the paper with a little bit of charcoal so I can smudge it around. So maybe there's an ear here, and again, I'm trying not to control it much. Put a little darkness where there might be an ear canal or the bottom of an earlobe. Find that you want to put contrast in areas where you want a viewer to focus, you know, on the eye line here. And if you put shadows around the ears, around the hair here, eyebrows, you give us some nice contrast, the viewer's focus will go here. And then the same thing here. Just put a little focus around the nose, some contrast here in the mouth. And if you'll notice, I'm not really drawing the cheek, the top of the hair, the rest of the body, just kind of where I want you to focus. And it's these kind of areas here: eyes, nose, mouth. And again, I'm trying to keep in mind just kind of staying relaxed and not trying to put too much pressure on myself on what the drawing needs to look like. I just kind of want to enjoy pushing the charcoal around on the sheet of paper a little bit. And I want to encourage you to give that a shot too. Like, if with the intention of throwing it away when you're done, and if you like it at the end, keep it, but plan on it not working, you know. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take a paper towel, just a regular paper towel, and because I'm using a soft charcoal pencil, it will smudge pretty nicely on the paper. So that's what we'll do here is I'm going to start smudging some of the darker areas to create some gray. Right now I have dark, black, and white. But as soon as I start smudging my paper towel, I start getting some gray area. It really starts bringing out some kind of dynamics in the drawing here, starts to bring out some dimensionality. You know, we can kind of start to see what's near and what's far. Starting to see what's near and what's far. It's really the first step to bringing out some like dimensions. So what we'll do here is we'll go back and bring in some more details here. Here's a tear duct. I'm going to think there's a tear duct here. That's the spot. Corner of your eye inside your nose that's designed to moisten your eye, and honestly it's designed to make you cry. It's fun to think that there's a part of our body that's designed for crying. So if you ain't crying, you ain't living, right? So I'm putting a little bit of detail here into these eyes here where I want you to focus. And again, I'm not worried about how close they are, whether they're the same size or not, or lined up. None of those things are my concern in this type of, none of those things are really my concern in this type of drawing. I'm just following along and improvising and seeing the drawing come to life in real time, just like you are. I have no idea what it's gonna look like. So what I'll do now is I'm going to take my gum eraser, and I have a few different erasers that I will use, but one thing I particularly like about these gum erasers is that they don't leave any like eraser dust behind. They pick all the charcoal up into their own, into themselves here. So what I'll do is start to like use it like I'm painting with white here. So I'm just going to use it to kind of bring out some highlights in the nose here, up the bridge of the nose maybe, and then cheeks, maybe a little highlight here on the bottom lip, kind of start defining that top up a bit more, maybe a highlight here, what might be a chin. And again, I'm still withholding my judgment so far. I have all kind of thoughts in my mind about, I don't think that's the right move, or I don't like the way the part of this drawing is looking, or is that the right way the mouth should look? And I'm actively trying to kind of push those thoughts to the back of my mind and just kind of, in a way, just kind of like follow the story that I've already laid out. You know, I'm looking at these lines and I'm treating them as if they're somebody else's lines in a coloring book, and all I have to do at this point is just kind of is coloring them in, you know. And I think I've found a lot of interest right now in this drawing right now. Part of me could just let this guy or gal go. Can you see the face here? Do you see the face? Comment below if you see the face. Tell me, what do you think this guy's name is? This person have any personality traits you can tell by this? And again, part of the magic and the fun in these drawings is I don't know how they're going to come out or who they're going to look like. It's really fun to just learn in the end what the drawing looks like, just like everybody else. So I'm using my electric eraser here to kind of really take it back to the white of the page. Bring up some highlights there, and you know, we could have some fun, maybe just trying to do some stuff in the background, some reductive stuff where you kind of pull out some color or something like that, just to make some patterns there, just for fun, you know. Maybe it helps us define a little bit of the face there, maybe, you know. And if we do something like that over here, maybe we need to do it over here too. You know, and again, it's an eraser here, but I'm trying to use it as if it's you know, I try to think of it like it's almost a white paintbrush, because in a way it is, even though it's pulling color off, it's still adding highlights. You know, so maybe I'll have some more fun just following these lines around here that I've already done. Kind of see where that goes. It's always interesting to see a white line because generally you see dark lines. So anytime you see a white line, it's kind of a bit of an optical illusion. So yeah, so I don't want to overwork it. I'm not sure if it's finished or if it's not, but I have the feeling that it's done, you know? Feeling pretty relaxed. I didn't let myself get too frustrated over it. Sometimes I do feel a little bit of frustration in the drawing, in the process while I'm doing it, and I just have to remind myself that that little bite of frustration is just kind of a precursor to kind of the breakthrough that is the fun of drawing, kind of the therapy, the relaxation. So I think that's it. And last but not least, I'm going to put my signature here, and generally what I do is I try to put it at equal distance from the bottom and the side, you know, and I also don't want to kind of go on top of the artwork, so maybe we'll break the rule and put it on the left side of the drawing instead of the right, or maybe we do it just a little higher than normal. Let's do that. I'm gonna nestle it in right here. Boom, there it is. There's the signature. All right, thanks so much for hanging out. My name is Gabriel Saint. I'm a writer, artist, director working out of Los Angeles, California. Please take a second to like, subscribe, comment. Do this at home. Share your experience with me. Everybody's got a pencil, an eraser, and a paper towel, and a sheet of paper. Try to ask yourself to do a drawing in this way. Like, take all the pressure off. Don't have any kind of preconceived notions of what the drawing should be or who it should be of. And just kind of let the pencil do the work. And if you start to feel frustrated about it, just remind yourself that there's no obligation. It doesn't need to be a good drawing. It could be a bad drawing. When you're done with it, you can throw it away. Think of it kind of like jogging, you know, that it's kind of the process that is the healthy reward. Nobody needs to see a jog for it to work, and it's the same thing with drawing. Like, nobody needs to see the work for it to kind of give you that kind of reward. You know, art is the process as much as it's the finished product. Well, yeah, I see Arctic says every art goes through the ugly process. That's very true. All right, well, like, subscribe, follow, comment. Thanks for being here. If you're having a tough week or you're dealing with drama at work or at school, or you're dealing with conflicts within yourself or with your family or with your partner or whatever kind of drama, whatever kind of bullshit that you're dealing with your life, I want you to take all that drama and ball it up into the densest, heaviest ball of negativity, heavier than Thor's hammer, and I want you to spread it through all your artwork. I want to encourage you to take out your negativity and your conflicts on artwork. Take it out on art. Don't take it out on yourself. Be gentle with yourself and the world. You'd be anywhere in the world, but you're here with me. I appreciate that. Like, subscribe, follow, join the Discord, join us on Twitch. See you next time.